Hi everyone, Trina Phoenix here, and this will be, I think, 4.3, and we just finished talking about the son and the daughter, and we're going into the cosmic dance. So, this is page 333. Can't make this stuff up, right? Okay. I just love that last reading that she did. It was so awesome. I've never heard anybody else explain the divine feminine and the father, the connection like that. It was profound because I've seen something so similar. And I love when you get confirmation of deep gnosis that you've received that really it's kind of hard to find any validation for. So when I do find it, it's just like I jump up and down for joy. It's like, oh, happy dance. There's confirmation that what I saw has validity and other people have seen and experienced something very, very similar to what I have. And it's a good feeling because I've been dealing with a lot of this stuff since I was 3 years old and trying to understand a lot of things that most people didn't have explanation for. So after time, you just learn to kind of process it on your own. And one aspect, I'm so grateful that that happened because being in the presence of the Lord my entire life, I mean, you could have no greater gift. So with that, definitely no regrets. It was kind of tough, but you know, walking in two worlds all the time, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I think it was my greatest gift with being able to hold on to that connection throughout my life. So I am eternally grateful for that. And it helped me always stay connected to my spirit because I knew that I was both. So even though this world really tries to anchor you into it, you got to fight to stay connected to what's real, which is your spirit. And that is kind of hard because we get wrapped up into this matrix through our bodies. And it is a very real illusion. So here we go, the cosmic dance. As I tried to wrap my mind around what this could mean, it seems as if there was some sort of great cosmic drama being played out between the Divine Mother and the Father, who periodically would descend to earth. See, I told you, I think we're gods. We're literally fractals of God. We have to experience creation for God. He showed me this many times. He's like, you're my hands. I get to feel and see and experience my creation through you. It's how I do it. It's through you. And that just made so much sense to me. I was like, well, that makes sense. Cats make cats, dogs make dogs, gods make gods, right? So when I was a little kid, it just totally made sense to me. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm part of you. I get it, you know? That's why the Lord, it was never a worship thing. He was my family. He was the smartest, kindest, most wonderful being you could ever be in the presence of. And I was like, you think I'm letting go of this? Nope. Nope. So yeah, but then I started to get trapped into the matrix, and I started to turn him into the Jesus person that religion teaches us because everybody else believes it that way. And it was starting to get into my consciousness through the collective consciousness. And boy, I had to catch myself with that one. It was like, whoa. He was like, you're falling into the Jesus trap. And when he said it, I knew what he meant. I was like, you're not that dude. You're not the dead guy on the stick. You're just not that person. And I had to reconnect to the Lord. And the Lord is the divine feminine. It's wisdom. I don't know how to explain it. But boy, she's spot on with what I was shown. Because this Lord thing is everything. It's everything. And it can bilocate. It can be everywhere at one time. It's a profound being. The Lord is a profound being. And it is the mother and the father embodied in one profound being. So the divine mother and father who periodically descend to earth. I thought of the sweet Mother Mary who'd given birth to Jesus, and of Jesus saying that he was one with the divine Father. Yes. Then I thought about Miriam or Mary Magdalene, who may have also been the female aspect of the Christ. Yes. Long denigrated in Western theology. If Jesus and Marian had a child, then they might have actually, essentially, given birth to another aspect of themselves. This was the Trinity that had long been taught in Egypt. The divine mother, father, and child, exemplified by Isis, Osiris, and Horus. When Osiris was slain, the Egyptians believed that his spirit had returned to his son Horus, and the father became the son, and the son the father. Maybe this was true for the Divine Mother as well. Maybe Mary Magdalene was the daughter aspect who had come to earth as Jesus' partner and wife, while Mariana was the mother aspect. In India, there are similar trinities with Krishna, Yahushuda, and his mother, Radha, his soulmate, incarnations of the divine feminine in two different forms. The Gospel of the Holy 12. Years later, I was to come across a remarkable gospel called the Gospel of the Holy 12, which addresses this very subject. Like Nicholas Notovich, his discovery of the unknown life of Jesus Christ, this gospel was preserved in a Buddhist monastery in Tibet for centuries. Translated from the original Aramaic, it was first published at the turn of the 20th century by the Reverend Gideon Ousley, a priest in a Catholic Apostolic Church of England. The Gospel relates many of the familiar stories from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but it includes chapters that were deleted from the original Gospels. This Gospel is believed to be the original Gospel of Matthew that was mentioned by St. Jerome and other church fathers before the Catholic correctors rewrote and edited the text to relate and reflect upon the church policies at the Council of Nicaea in 325 CE. I love that. Historically, we know that the Apostle Thomas went to India, and there were other disciples in China and Tibet who have also may have preserved a copy of the Gospels in their original form before the church correctors had changed, removed, or burned them all. By storing Jesus' teachings safely in remote monasteries, perhaps these disciples hoped to keep them safe so that they might be recovered in a future age such as our own. Such foresight was probably the real reason that Jesus was so adamant that his brother Thomas go to Asia, knowing full well the corruption that might unfold in the centuries following his ministry. Jesus even speaks about this in the Gospel of the Holy 12. And it says, "But there shall arise after you men of perverse minds, who shall through ignorance or through craft suppress many things which I have spoken unto you, and lay to me things which I have not taught, sowing tares among the good wheat which I have given you to sow in the world. Then shall the truth of God endure the contradictions of the sinners. For thus it had been, and thus it will be. But the time cometh when the things that they have hidden shall be revealed and made known. Woe is the time when the spirit of the world shall enter into the church, and my doctrines and precepts shall be made void through the corruptions of men and women. Woe to the world when the light is hidden. Woe to the world when these things shall be. Holy 12, 44, 7 through 8. He told me that directly. That is ringing a big bell of truth to me. Holy moly. Because the Jesus that they portray to you is not what he taught. And it is not what he came here to teach. And it has been so twisted. And boy, is he mad. And you don't want to see the Lord mad. Because let me tell you, I've seen him mad a couple times. And it is not pretty. He will melt your face off. For reals. I saw that once. It was terrible. So, okay, the Gospel of the Holy 12 reveals a set of 12 new commandments, as well as a version that would later be known as the Nicene Creed with the prayers to the Divine Mother and Father. These 12 new commandments cover the basic admonitions not to lie, cheat, steal, or kill, as well as to honor our parents and do unto others as we would wish to be done to. But there is also a new commandment to protect the weak. Oh, I came in with this knowing. And oppressed, and all creatures that suffer wrong. That's why I beat up the school bully when I was a little girl. I was like, you will not abuse people I care about. I can't watch it one more day. And I literally put an end to it. This is a commandment of God. And when you stand up to defend one who cannot defend itself, oh, fear not your death, because the rewards, you would sign up for it twice on Tuesday and every day of the week. This is temporary, but that action and that sacrifice goes with you eternally. Eternally. And that color of your sacrifice and your love to protect, it's on you as badges of color. And that color is beautiful and it is royal. And that is how they see the difference between us, is how you shine. And how you shine depends on how much love you've given. And that's what I've seen. So protect the ones that need protection. Stand up for those who are oppressed. It will be the greatest gift you ever gave yourself, as well as the gift to your brothers and sisters and the animals. All of it. Love all of it. Protect all of it like it's yours. To make no impure marriages where love and health are not, and to honor the one eternal Father, Mother of heaven. The Holy 12, 46, 10 through 21. While these last three commandments were not in line with the political objectives of the church, the commandment not to eat flesh, nor to drink blood of any slaughtered creature, nor anything which bringeth disorder to the health or the senses, Holy 12, 46, 12, was probably the covenant that the church would have resisted the most, since it promoted vegetarianism. There's a lot of truth to the vegetarian. Why do you think this vegan explosion is happening right now on our planet. The souls, they know, and they're waking up to this truth. And it's going to be very difficult for this transition, but this is the way it's going to go. Eventually, it will be this way. And it'll take time for our internal organs to change. This is part of our genetic mutations that we're going through. Some are going deeper into the beast system, while others are going into the heavenly realms. And the ones that are doing that will be more eating as if you were in the garden. You'll naturally come into alignment with that. I have been the biggest carnivore my entire life, and now I eat meat a couple times a week, and I'm starting to integrate my body and being to where it can operate without it, because eventually that's probably where I'm going to go as well. It's just right now my body and my blood type still struggles with it. So it's getting lesser and lesser, and I did go through almost a 2-year window where I did not touch meat, not at all. So, but I got MRSA, and that infection, my doctor told me, he's like, you need to eat meat right now because you need it. You need the proteins and the antibodies and the things that you get from it for my physical being, because I'm an O positive. He's like, you are the only one that requires this. He's like, right now you got to give your body everything it needs to heal. So I was like, all right. So it's still, the consumption is just not even a fourth of what it used to be, and my body functions fine with that. So, I went completely none, and then I went back to integrating it a little bit at a time and using a little bit at a time, and I seem to be doing really good with that. So eventually I can see my body being able to phase it out, but I'm going to have to just pay attention to my body and go with my body's instructions, because I have to work with my body as well as with my spirit. But my spirit can control my body. So we're working with that now, and it does change you, and it does work. So let your spirit start to control your cravings in your being, and don't let the beast run you. Don't let the construct and the parasites and the bacteria run you. Tell your spirit to run your cravings. Intend it to be so, and it will really help. It really will. So, okay. In the Gospel of the Holy 12, we discover Jesus with his disciples near a fountain close to Bethany, telling them about how the visible and invisible worlds work together. Bingo. And through that, the natural world, we might enter into the knowledge of the spiritual world. That's the goal. The things that which are seen. Oh, sorry, I needed a drink. The things which are seen and pass away are the manifestations of the unseen, which are eternal. This is what the Lord showed me. He showed me everything that's here comes from the invisible first, because the invisible is the part that's the building blocks, it's the templates, the energy codes that originally come into the first layers of matter, which are the sound producing waves, and then the waves produce the geometries, and then the geometries create the math, and then the math creates the word, and it goes down this layering process of light and energy, and down and down and down you go until you finally can project into the third dimension through this invisible construct where you actually are residing as your consciousness, which is an 8D or above, in a consciousness lattice or a crystalline, quasi-crystalline crystal, like The Sims. I'm seeing that this is really close to what's going on. We're animating through this invisible quasi-crystalline structure that allows us to connect into this matrix. It's like a key code. So that's what I've been shown a lot of times. So the things that are seen and pass away are the manifestations of the unseen, which are eternal. That from the visible things of nature ye may reach the invisible things of the Godhead. Yeah. And by that which is natural, attain to that which is spiritual. Verily, the Elohim, which they spell with an A instead of an E, created man in the divine image. Yes, male and female. Yes, the androgynous male. This is what I saw. But it looks female too. It's hard to tell if it's a boy or a girl. It's the Lord. It's both. It's really weird. And it can be female or male whenever it wants. It can morph right in front of you and be anything you need, it can become. It's really profound. So, verily, the Elohim, created man in the divine image, male and female. And all nature is in the image of God. Yes. Therefore, God is both male and female, not divided, but the two in one. Yes. Undivided and eternal, by whom and in whom are all things, visible and invisible. From the eternal they flow. To the eternal they return. The spirit to spirit, the soul to soul, mind to mind, sense to sense, life to life, form to form, dust to dust. Holy 12, 63, 5 through 6. This passage embraces the concepts of both eminence and transcendence, telling us that the physical world is a way for us to experience the presence of God in the here and now. The two divine children of God. While Jesus addressed the Creator of all as the ABBA, AMMA, or Father, Mother, God, many of us know very little about the divine Son and Daughter, the celestial siblings and lovers who make up the tetrad of beings from which the entire cosmos is created. It's exactly what I saw. We all come from the mother and father as the children, and as the children, we are multitude. Multitude. Fractaled out aspects of them in multitude. And that was what they showed me. So the divine Son and Daughter are the celestial siblings and the lovers who make up the tetrad of beings from which the entire cosmos is created. This daughter has been called Shekinah, or breath of God, but she is also known as Sophia, the direct emanation of wisdom. We shall learn more about her in the next chapter. Jesus speaks about the divine daughter and son in the Gospel of the Holy 12. Ironic timing. Ten bells, the symbol of beginnings and endings. And here we sit, going into the divine Son and Daughter. So the Gospel of the Holy 12 speaks how these two presences continue to incarnate throughout time, returning into the many worlds of form. He reminds us that knowledge, the knowledge of these great beings, has been taught in previous eras, and that humanity has confused this higher truth with superstition and foolishness, assigning these roles to the gods and goddesses in earlier centuries. In the beginning, God willed, and there came forth the beloved Son, man, the divine love, and the beloved daughter of the holy wisdom, equally proceeding from the one eternal fount. And these are the generations of the spirits of God, the sons and the daughters of the Eternal. And these descend to earth and dwell with men and teach them the ways of God, to love the laws of the Eternal and obey them, that in them they may find salvation. Many nations have seen their day. Under diverse names they have been revealed to them, and they have rejoiced in their light. And even now they come again unto you. But Israel receiveth them not. Verily, I say unto you, my 12 whom I have chosen, that which hath been taught by them of old time is true, corrupted by the foolish imaginations of men. Holy 12, 63, 8 through 11. Miriam also addresses the same precepts in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. If Christos can appear as a male, then surely Christos can appear as a female. Those who deny holiness in womanhood do not understand holiness in manhood or womanhood, but are sorely bound to ignorance. Do not believe the father of lies. Believe in the mother of spirit, whose name is the Spirit of truth and comfort. Listen, the Holy Spirit is supernal, yet she is everywhere here below. She is the light of the heavens and the fire of Gehenna. She is the life power in all creatures in heaven and earth and beneath the earth. She is the all in all. If anyone is ignorant of her, then they are surely not alive. The four Trinities of God. That's so wild. The four Trinities of God. God showed me that too. All I create in this realm in 12s. And he said each Trinity produces 3 equal but opposite Trinities. And he showed me earth, air, fire, water. But it all birthed forth from the invisible ether principle. It was so hard to explain when they showed me this geometry. It was off the hook, but it was about triangles. Like I said, we all come down in triangles. So like that 12 is your seed pod family type thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's literally like the 12 that you come out of, which is these 4 Trinities. You're one part of that 12. And in that 12, like, it was shown to me like slapped into the zodiac wheel. Like each one of those 12 would take on one aspect of that zodiacal dial. So like me, I came in an Aries. So I came in with the Ram. I came in with that point. And then my next part of my soul tribe comes in on the next zodiac expression, which would be Taurus. So and then it goes all in a line. So everything goes on the wheel through the 12. The 12 take on one of the aspects of the 12 within the zodiac wheel in this construct. That's how it was shown on Earth. So you are the part of your, whatever you were born in, that's your part of your 12 wheel, but the other parts of you are existing on those other wheels in this construct at the same time as you are. That's kind of what I was shown. It's really hard to explain. Hopefully she can explain it better. So the Gospel of the Holy 12 opens up with Jesus teaching about the 4 Trinities that express the very nature of God. Again, Jesus taught them by saying, God has raised up witnesses to the truth in every nation and in every age, that all might know the will of the Eternal and do it. And after that, enter into the kingdom to be rulers and workers with the eternal God. God is power, love, and wisdom. And those three are one. God is truth, godliness, and beauty. And these three are one. God is justice, knowledge, and purity. These three are one. God is splendor, compassion, and holiness. And these three are one. And these four trinities are one in the hidden deity, the perfect, the infinite, the only. That's well said, Tricia. I couldn't have explained it better. Likewise, in every man who is perfected, there are three persons, yes. That of the Son, that of the spouse, and that of the Father. And these three are one. So in every woman who is perfected, there are three persons, that of the daughter, that of the bride, and that of the mother. And these three are one. And the man and the woman are one, even as God is one. Thus, it is with God, the Father, Mother, in whom is neither male nor female, and in whom are both. And each is threefold, and all are one in the hidden unity. Holy 12, 63, 1 through 7. This is exactly what Ariel was trying to explain to me, and the Lord was trying to explain to me. Not only did the Divine Mother take the form of a wisdom teacher from China, Egypt, and the Americas, but she revealed her celestial form behind the mortal trappings. Jesus speaks about his periodic return to the world and that of Mary Magdalene in the next passage. Again, I say unto you, I and my bride are one. Even as Maria Magdalena, whom I have chosen and sanctified unto myself as a type, is one with me. I and my church are one, and the church is the elect of humanity for the salvation of all. The church of the firstborn is the Maria of God. Thus saith the Eternal. She is my mother, and she hath ever conceived me and brought me forth as her son. In every age and clime, she is my bride, ever one in holy union with me, her spouse. She is my daughter, for she hath ever issued and proceeded from me, her father rejoicing in me. And these two trinities are the one in the eternal, and are shown forth in each man and woman who are made perfect, ever being born of God and rejoicing in the light, ever being lifted up and made one with God, ever conceiving and bringing forth God for the salvation of the many. This is the mystery of the Trinity in humanity, and moreover, in every individual child of man must be accomplished the mystery of God. Ever witnessing to the light, suffering for the truth, ascending into heaven, and sending forth the Spirit of truth. And this is the path of salvation, for the kingdom of God is within. Holy 12, 63, 9 through 12. Interesting. 993. Here Jesus is saying that the Divine Mother has incarnated to both his mother and his mate. Mariana is his mother, and Mary Magdalene is both his spiritual sister and his mate. From age to age, these two divine presences incarnate, playing out the various roles of father, daughter, mother, son, and loving spouse in an eternal dance of opposites. This concept was a mind-blowing theology for the patriarchy of this day, and clearly too much for them to assimilate. But as we can observe, the excision of this profound revelation about the divine masculine and feminine forces in this cosmos was to create centuries of repression and suffering in our world. We will be beginning chapter 18, Mary Magdalene and the Divine Sophia. Oh, I can't wait to get into that. That's going to be beautiful. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I love this so much because I literally saw this, and I'm going to go and try to find that book that I showed you, and I will read a lot of it to you. It's a very small book, and it is profound in its teachings and its simplicity, and I've always been told, the Lord told me, God would never trick you. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Always remember kiss. The more simple and the easier it is to comprehend, the truer it must be, because this is what he told me. And sometimes we get lost in details and translation, and that's how so much of the trickery has been done to us. It's by these false twistings and removals of our ancient theology and study of God. So we're going to dive into it deep now. Here we go. And we're just going to keep going. And we're going to go all the way until we can learn how to start using alchemy. And this will be turning lead into gold. So y'all get ready. We're going to find our Midas touch and start to use it as a group. So I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.